Hey, everybody, and welcome to F3, Foundations of Faith and Family. I'm Pastor James. Thank you for joining me tonight. Now, there's something I have to ask you, and I hope that you are ready to receive this question, okay? Now, this is specifically for relationships, and this is for those who are married. You know, we're talking about Foundations of Faith and Family, and for tonight specifically, we're talking we're going to give some tools for those that are married, but also if you're in a relationship. And also if you're single, because this will help you. This is going to save you so much time, so much frustration. This is going to save you a complete headache. Trust me. So all right, so pay attention. Okay. Would you consider yourself a good listener? Would you consider yourself a good listener? Well, I hope so, and usually we do, and we're usually the ones that are interrupting others when they're talking. But tonight, we're going to be talking about how to listen to your spouse the right way. All right, so how to listen to your spouse the right way. So usually in marriages, in relationships, again, whether that's you dating or wherever, I mean, these principles are universal, by the way, okay? But nevertheless, there's usually conflict when we communicate to one another. And when we're arguing or debating or disagreeing or whatever the case is, and I want to get my point across, but you're trying to get your point across, and then you're talking over your spouse, and then nobody's listening to each other, and then everybody's just getting frustrated. World War III. But that's what we don't want. But it does happen. So we're going to talk about how to listen to your spouse the right way. Now listen, if you get this, then you are going to save, again, you're going to save a tremendous amount of time, a tremendous amount of stress, a tremendous amount of frustration, because you are going to be equipped with tools to help you understand and communicate better. Because we need to have a healthy foundation of communication in our families versus I'm going to get upset and I'm going to cut you off, or we're just going to battle and whoever's the loudest can win, or I'm just going to walk away and stonewall. We don't want to do those things. We want to have some tools to help us. So with that, there's a story. Before I jump into the verse, there's a story. So whenever my wife and Allison, when we first got married, during our first year of marriage, we dated, but we never lived together. So once you're living together, it's like completely different. And you're trying to figure out like, hey, what's your vibe of the day? Here's my vibe of the day. How do we work this thing out? And again, nobody's like, hey, here's everything you need to know about marriage. You figure it out along as you go. And there's a time we got in an argument over something. I don't even remember what it was, but it was so bad because I was pushing so hard for what I was trying to get across. She was pushing so hard for what she was trying to get across. And there you have a room with two people that are planted on each side and saying, I'm right, you're wrong. Yeah, and you know how that conversation ended? With both of us just walking away. Just whatever. See, for me, it's funny to think about that now, because that was like 10 years ago. Okay, that wasn't funny then. All right, that was not funny then. But maybe that's something that you're dealing with. Maybe you're having some continuous communication struggles within your relationship. So the verse we're talking about tonight is James chapter 1, verse 19. The good old verse that helps us understand about speaking and listening. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. Quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. I'm sure you've heard this verse before. I'm sure you've thought about trying to do this verse. Man, that sounds so great. Woo! And then it just never happened. So I want to give you two tools, two resources that are going to help you be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger, because we want a strong foundation of healthy communication in our homes, in our families. So number one is this. The tool is active listening. Say it with me. Active listening. Now, I didn't know about active listening until my wife and I, we had this big blow up, and I'm like, man, I am not communicating very well. Like, we do not need to live like this. There has got to be more than having these arguments with two young married people that have never learned about communication before. So active listening is basically, you are paying attention to what the other person is saying. You are listening with an intent. You are making sure that you're not on your phone, you're not thinking about what you want to do tomorrow, and most importantly, you're not thinking about what you want to say when they're done. Okay? It's not you planning a map of, she's wrong right there. Yeah, and then you just start blurting out. That's not what active listening is about. Remember, active listening is about being intent on what the other person is saying. And one of the best ways you can do that is to actually repeat what they just said. So let me give you an example. Hey, I'm really frustrated because every time I come home, I can't find you. I don't know where you're at. You're usually over there in the room, or you're out in the yard, or maybe you're out in the driveway, or maybe you're getting home too late, and I just don't know where you are, and I need to feel like you care, because when you're home, you're not home mentally, and then you're coming home late, and so I'm feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. Okay, so this is what you don't do from that conversation. What do you mean you feel frustrated? You know how hard I'm working? Okay, don't do that. That's World War III. Okay, I'm guilty of it too. Just receive what this isn't just me. Listen, be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. So receive it, and then you can repeat it. Hey, so what I hear you saying is you feel frustrated. What I hear you saying is you don't know where I am. When I'm home, it seems like I'm not here because I'm thinking about other things. And then like when I get off work or wherever, it's taking me a long time to get home and you don't know where I am. That is called active listening. You are paying attention to what the other person's saying. This may sound silly, like this may sound, but like I'm telling you, even with the Bible, be quick to listen. There's a reason why, is because if you are speaking, if your spouse is speaking to you, you're not paying attention, then they're going to feel unheard. And you don't want to feel unheard. And so it's not just on you, but it's for both people to learn these skills and to learn these tools so that we can have healthy communication. Now, the other part, so that's number one, which was active listening. Number two, which is very simple, a very simple way to increase that healthy communication of being quick to listen, being slow to speak, and being slow to anger, and not having a complete atomic bomb go off in your living room, is to signal when you're done. Now, this is something my wife and we initiated years ago, because what happened was that there'd be an issue, and I'm trying to talk about it, and then she's trying to talk about it, and then we're talking over each other, and next thing you know, nobody's listening. And so we utilize the active listening, but then in order for us to communicate to the other person that we have finished speaking, we easily just say, I'm done. How simple is that? Because when we don't signal that we have finished speaking, one, the other person has no idea when you're done, okay? But two, it helps keep clear communication of, hey, I am now finished. It's your turn, okay? All right, so now I talk. Okay, now I'm finished. And then what it does is it starts breathing in that time to listen. And then it starts helping you be slow to speak. And then it helps you to get slow to anger because you're causing a pause. You are calming down. So, I don't know about you, but I will tell you, these two things has helped our marriage so much in regards to communication. I mean, we got married at 23. Who is talking about conflict resolution at 23 years old? Nobody. They say, hey, you're married, woo, congratulations. And you go off on the honeymoon, you come back, you both have work, you both have responsibilities, and then you both start having things toggle with one another, and then you're trying to talk about it. But when you don't have the tools or when you just don't have the information, you do what you've always done, what you've grown up to do, what your family did. And with that, that's what you're going to get. And so when that happened in our marriage, it was like, hey, we need to learn some different ways because we're not getting the results we're looking for. So again, if you want to have healthy communication in your marriage or in just your relationships with your friends or whomever, then utilize active listening, which is to be intentional in hearing what the person said and repeat. But then also, number two, is to have this signal that says, hey, I'm done. Doing those things, I promise you, are going to help you be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Let's pray. God, we thank you for relationships. God, we thank you for marriages. God, sometimes relationships are amazing and they're a blessing. God, and other times they are frustrating and stressful. So God, I ask that you help us just be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. God, help us to trust you and to stop trying to combat the ones you've placed in our lives that love us, but to listen and to love and serve them. God, help us to not take for granted the people that you have placed in our lives. And help us, God, to work on our hearts, not to push our agenda, God, but to listen with a heart that aligns with your will. God, we love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Why would I worry when giants come calling my name? My God is so much bigger than troubles I face. Why would I hunger for power, riches, or fame? My God is so much better than all of these things. So I won't be shaken. No, I won't be moved. 'Cause my God is faithful and His promise is true. So I speak to the mountain, oh, it's time to move. 'Cause my God is bigger, better, stronger, greater than you. My enemies scatter, 'cause they know the battle is done. Oh, my God is stronger, the victory's already won. Yeah, He died for my ransom and rose up on the third day. My God is greater than death, hell, and the grave. Oh, I won't be shaken. No, I won't be moved. 'Cause my God is faithful. His promise is true. So I'll speak to the mountain. Oh, it's time to move. 'Cause my God is bigger, better, stronger, greater than you. There's no mountain too high, no valley too low. There's no fear that I have He doesn't already know. There's no problem too big, there's no weapon too strong. There is nothing for God that's impossible. There's no mountain too big, no valley too low. There's no fear that I have He doesn't already know. There's no problem too big, there's no weapon too strong. There is nothing for God that's impossible. So I won't be shaken. No, I won't be God is bigger, better, stronger.